Am I close enough?
Come up a little closer. Okay, there you go. Hey, everybody, that handsome fella right there, that's G.C. Brown, and you know it's me, Dr. Mother Love, the even more fabulous Dr. Mother Love, coming to you live and in living color from where? Hollywood. That's what we do. That's what we are. So we're going to find out about Mr. G.C. Brown. First of all, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Amazing. Glad to be here.
It's because you got one story to tell. I don't want to give it away. The only thing I'm going to start the conversation is when I was reading your information, he's an author. And wait till you find out what he's written about. I never would have thought I would have heard anybody say this, let alone anybody, that going to prison was the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yes.
Okay, can we just chat about that? You know, how did you even get up to that? Where'd you come from? You didn't just fall out the sky like young people think we do when we're grown. You just fell out the sky. Tell us about you falling out of the sky.
All right, so I grew up on a small town. In a small
town. Scoot up a little more. I'm getting an echo from you. Can you scoot up? Yeah, that's good.
How's that? So I grew up in a small town in Indiana on a farm. Mm-hmm. Dibbled and dabbled just about everything in entrepreneurial stuff. All legal, legit, which ties into this shortly. But grew up, baseball's in my family. I got a professional uncle to play professional ball. My grandfather.
When I'm losing your audio, hold up. Give me a 1, 2, 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
There you go. That's it. That's the pitch right there.
I wonder why it's doing that. Okay. So anyway, grew up in, like I said, the small town, Indiana, on a farm. Got out of there quickly, got into a little bit of everything, some real estate. I did some mobile homes. I got in the nightclub industry. Fast forward, I ended up in the African diamond trade in Africa.
Okay. Wait, hold up, G.
There's a lot in between.
Wait a minute. You don't went like continents across. You know, well, I'm from a little town, and you know, I'm out there, and you know, was an entrepreneur, did a lot of stuff. Then next thing I know, I'm in the African diamond trade. Okay, you just got to give me at least 5 sentences to help with that.
A little bit more. All right. So
yeah.
I moved a little bit of everywhere. My family, in the middle of high school, picked up and went to Arizona. So I went from a 300-person school, one stoplight town, to a 5,000-person school in a matter of a couple of months. It was quick. From there, I ducked all the baseball scholarships and decided to get busy and making money. Sometimes growing up in a small town, you experience some other big towns, you see the money really quick. So I let baseball go and started selling. My very
first you good at baseball?
My grandfather's a professional, played for the White Sox. My uncle played for the Padres. So it's in the blood.
Oh, and you just said, well, I got my own blood. This one, I'm going to do something.
That's right. So I took a different turn. So fast forward, I moved around a lot. I've been self-employed since I was 17. I've lived all over the United States. I've met all kinds of individuals. In my late 20s, 28, 29, I decided I was going to retire and move to the beaches of South Florida. So that led to some real estate. It led to some nightclubs. It led to a couple of daughters being born. That all led to
tell me? Wait a minute. Did you just say to us, "Oh, and a couple of daughters being born"? Yeah, that's on the list. I've done that too. Been there.
Yeah, I figured I'd spin back around to them, but I do have I have a 24-year-old daughter, Gianna, and I have a 20-year-old daughter, Liliana.
Hi, sweetie pie.
Yeah. So I'm in Florida. I'm doing the entrepreneurial stuff, doing the real estate, doing the there was nightclubs, there was a chain of restaurants, there was a little bit of everything. I had a guy trick me into getting into the African diamond trade at first.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, the plot thickens. So he asked me for some money. I give him the money to supposedly get diamonds back over here. The diamonds don't show up. The friend disappears. Fast forward, I chase down the money. I end up in Cairo, Egypt for 9 weeks. Stayed there, lived there, right along the Nile. From there, I ended up in Central Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo. I ran into the right guys after losing about 600 grand. Run into the right guys. End up in Sierra Leone. So doing the diamonds right out of the country was just out of a civil war, a couple of years out, not much. So I'm doing the African diamond trade. I'm doing it correctly. I end up being investigated for the diamonds. The U.S. thinking I was bringing in blood diamonds to the United States, which was not the case at all.
Let me ask you, how do you know they're not blood diamonds? Because people are dying in those mines out there and living in such abject poverty, making people all over the world who are in the diamond industry, into the rare jewels and what have you, and now they're working like dogs. And then how do we know that they're not blood diamonds? And well, especially coming out of Sierra Leone.
For sure. So let me give you two stories. So when I get there, the jobs that they're looking for on the ground over there, now this is going to blow your mind. The jobs they're looking for, beating down the doors to get, is $2 a day and lunch. That was it, to dig holes in the ground to come up with diamonds. So I get there. I'm coming from America. I'm coming from Palm Beach, from Miami. I come there and I up it to $10 a day. They said, don't go above that. Don't go above that. You'll cause all kinds of problems. So I go all the way. I go $10 a day. That was like on a Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. On Saturday or Sunday morning, I don't remember the day, I wake up to all kinds of noise and chaos. And I pull back the curtain, and we had big gates around, big fences around everything. I look through, there's 300 people outside the gates looking for work. So that gives you an idea. The United Nations gets involved, kicked everybody out, gave us a big fine, but it just goes to show you that's what they're looking for over there. It's terrible. It's a terrible place. A terrible place with great people, terrible industry. So I was in the diamond thing. I was doing the right thing. I was trying to take care of people. I was taking care of people. We made a pretty good business there. Fast forward back here in the States. They assume I'm bringing in blood diamonds. They're not. Every stone I had the origination certificates. I paid the taxes. I paid the excise fees. I paid everything that was due to make these diamonds legit. So fast forward, I come back to the United States. Like I said, they investigated me. At the end of the day, they came back with some BS tax offenses on money that I didn't even make in this country. They offered a plea. I chose not to take the plea. They superseded the indictment. They wrapped that money around from misdemeanors to, it started off as a misdemeanors. I didn't take their plea and didn't bow to them. They come back and turn that into felony tax evasion, which was not the case at all. So fast forward.
I'm just a bit confused. You're over in Africa, in Central Africa, and you're working. You got a legitimate business. You're mining diamonds, and you're paying people way more than they had thought that was possible. So you believe that you're doing the right thing, and people are now looking at you. Why are you doing the right thing? Do you think it was like a vendetta thing? Because how dare you come over here and are willing to pay the workers and are willing to pay them $8 more a day than they've made in lunch? So you're making us look bad. So you're making this not look. Do you think it might have been just in the back of your head where you thought, are they trying to get rid of me?
I never thought. To tell you the truth, I never ever looked, in all the years and the many years of staring at the bunk above me in prison, I never thought about that. I've always said there's something more that I just didn't get and that I'll probably never find out. But like I said, so they charged me with the tax evasion. I still didn't take the plea. The statute says you have to willfully evade, not the case at all. So they turned that into all that $480,000, they turn that into ill-gotten gains. Turn that and take that wrap around that anything that I used $480,000 on, that gave them wire fraud and mail fraud, because I willfully evaded the taxes and used it on mortgages back here in the United States. So that's how they got the all the extra charges. And then so I take them to trial, and on a 3-year plea, I lose trial. They give me 20 years. Never been in trouble. Never killed anybody. Don't have any violence, hadn't had a speeding ticket in 10 years. I was in my 30s, living what I thought was the life. Now, was I doing everything correctly? At 30 years old in a big city, making a ton of money? Of course not.
Color us surprised.
Yeah, so, and I've readily said that on everywhere I've been. I didn't do what the government said. Could I have been better on my taxes? Of course, for sure. But did I set out to willfully evade or to commit fraud or to absolutely not at all. So I end up getting 20 years. I leave my 7-year-old daughter behind. I leave my 2-year-old daughter behind. I leave what I thought was the life. Looking back, it was not the life, but at that time, I left the life and everything that I was ungrateful for and that I should have been grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, I get to prison. I had that realization. Listen, I didn't go to prison for what they said, but I could have been a way much better person. So I set out on that goal. I set 2 goals while in prison: to be the best human being I could possibly be, and to be a New York Times bestseller. So I'm working on both right now.
How about that? So, I mean, this is 20 years of your life. So you obviously always knew in your heart and in your soul, you didn't do anything. Did that help you get through it day by day by day? Because people that come out of prison don't usually act like you do, baby.
No, it actually had the opposite effect. So think about it. If you're sitting on a prison bunk and that you did something that they said you did, well then yeah, we're all grown-ups. Eventually we're going to come to terms in our mind, and we're going to say, hey, listen, yeah, I did what they said. I should be here. But knowing that they lied and they cheated and they tricked to put me there, then it was almost like my vendetta. My get back was, you know what, I'm going to be not only the best human being I can be, but that was for me. But the other goal was to become a New York. There's only one thing you can do in federal prison. So
read and learn.
Read and learn. And they're not helping you do any of it. Don't let anybody be confused that it's rehabilitation. It's not. It's a bunch of TVs, and it's a cop that comes around and counts you at your bunk twice a day. The rehabilitation thing that everybody believes is happening is not happening. They are failing these men.
Do you think, TC, that this is why we have such recidivism, where people spend a lot of time in prison, they come out and they feel like I can't cope with being out here, I need to go back to prison?
It's not. I don't even think that it's they want to or they need to. They're not left with a bunch of options. You don't learn anything. So you come out after a long bid. I was lucky. I seen things and I approached things a little different than a lot of people. But most guys are sitting in there. There's not, mother love. There's not what people think there is. It's not.
Well, and see, and this is interesting because some people really, young people, glorify prisoners in prison life, and they come out different people if they do come out at all. And it seems like they're on that one track mind. How were you able, and what was your process to make sure that did not happen to you? That, being there for 20 years, look, 15 minutes was enough for me. I thought I was going to die. I was like, I don't know how people do this. I was terrified.
I was too.
I was terrified.
I was too.
I didn't even stay overnight. They had to come and get me. They said, well, she's not going to fall out of here. I was like, yes, Lord, come give me Jesus. Take me. I can't do this, Jesus.
Yeah.
And everybody has a different process. What was your process? And when did you, because you said this is what you're going to do for you. You're going to be the best Mr. Brown you can be.
Right.
What was your process? Because maybe your story will help other people.
Sure. So mine, I was forced into my process, to be honest. So I came from the streets. I was doing all those different things, real estate and the restaurants and the software companies and the property everywhere and the diamonds. I ran 3 different companies on 3 different continents, all at the same time, with myself and 2 fiance at the time. We never got married, but the mother of my youngest child and a secretary. 3 businesses on 3 continents, all at the same time, different time zones. It was craziness, but I operate best in the chaos. So I get to prison and there's none of that.
No creativity coming, nothing to keep your juices going, nothing to help you really rehabilitate.
Nothing. So I go to my case manager and I say, hey, listen, I got to have something to do. I can't sit here and just do nothing. So he kind of scoffed, feet up on the desk. You know how these guys are, feet up on the desk, unopened files of everybody, all the work he's supposed to be doing to help us. They're unopened. They're scattered all over, feet up on the desk. Oh, you could write a book.
So you did.
Well, at that time, I said, "What do I know about writing a book? How is wheeling and dealing? How am I going to write a book? I've never written anything." So fast forward, I get involved almost immediately in a poker game. In the back showers where the cops can't see, guys standing out front blocking, letting us know if anybody's coming. So fast forward, I'm doing that for a few months and learning that I love it. So the guys, I end up winning. So into the week, the guys don't pay. So that turns into I catch them by themselves the next day. That turns into 15 months in the hole of solitary confinement. So I'm 15 months back there, and I'm probably, I don't know, 6, 8, 9 months in, and I'm going through my appeals process. So I get a legal call. The attorney says, "Hey, what do you do all day?" I said, "All I do is read. All I do is read. That's all there is to do is I read, read, read." I'm in a 6x9 cell box, cement, door never opens, nobody in, nobody out, 365 days, 7 days a week, all the time, 24/7. It's solitary confinement. So he says, "You should write a book." Again, so that's the second time. What do I know? Why do people keep saying that? So fast forward a little bit longer, we get in there, and I get one of the newspapers slides under the door from one of the guys on the tier. Hey, shoot this down, and they put it underneath my door. It's a USA Today. Front page article, top 10 hardest things to do. Writing a novel is number 3. I said, "Oh, that's it. It's 3 of them. I'm writing a novel." So I shortly set out to do that. And while I was, of course, staring at the bottom of a bunk for a year, now I get out of the hole, of course, and continue the writing on through. And
wait, I just want to know, what is your mentality while you're in this really tiny space by yourself with very little to no human contact? How were you able to maintain your sanity and come, and did you learn things about yourself in those 15 months by yourself?
So I did. I learned
What did you
that
learn about you that you didn't know was in there?
Well, I sat back and I realized, and I don't say this with any kind of ego at all, Dr. Lowe. When I was back there, I realized that everything that I've ever attempted in my life, whether it be from a job perspective, a business, the car I wanted, the house I wanted to live in, the woman that I wanted to be with, I was always able to succeed. But I'd always mess it up, Dr. Love. I'd get to where I wanted and always manage to just screw it up. I have ADHD. I'm all over the place. I got this going over here, clothes in the washer. I didn't start the dryer. Just chaos, the wrong kind of chaos. But I realized while I was in there that I've always been able to get to the top, and I've always screwed it up myself by just doing stupid stuff.
How stupid did it get?
Well,
okay, I want to know, because and when you say it's not from an egotistical point of view, I would beg to differ with you, because you have to have a really big ego and some very thick skin to be able to take those hats off. And everybody can't run multiple businesses that really don't have anything to do with each other for the most part. And you got to have a mindset, a business person's mindset. Because it's not just, you're getting in there. And I don't even think for you it was luck. I think for you it was like, oh, I could do this. Okay, then if I could do this, when you say you screwed it up, then you seem like the kind of guy, okay, I know, been there, done that, move on, do something else. And then you sabotage yourself. Correct. Did you ever feel like you were self-sabotaging when you said that?
Exactly what I felt. I realized that it dawned on me all at one time. And I said, holy curse word. I said, it's me. I'm the one. I'm in here because of me, not because the government put me here. I'm in here because I did stupid things and I made stupid mistakes and stupid decisions. And when I realized that, it dawned on me. And when it dawned on me, it hit me. That very day, I happened to be working on the books, and I had made a note, which I still have that piece of paper. I made a note. I'm in my bunk writing. It's 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, and I wrote, "You need to be the best human being you can be." So I leave my notes up at the top, and they're handwritten. Now, when I got back up to the compound, fast forward, now I'm back on the compound, and I'm writing all these notes to myself at night. And then when I get up on the computers to type the next day, to type the book pages out, it's there. So I just started making that a habit. and just said that I'm absolutely not going to let this beat me. I've been beating myself my entire life. So when they shut me in that box, I learned more about myself. I had never had that. I didn't come from a good home. I didn't have a good childhood. I had all the things that were going against me, small town, and I beat all of it. But when I realized it was an epiphany. It was just it was unbelievable. I still can't put into words exactly what that felt like that day.
That
amazing.
dynamic in your life that shifted for you.
Yeah.
And you know what? More often than not, it does fall on you like a ton of bricks, and you go, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I said what? Oh, I have a phrase for that. That's when you know you're stuck on stupid, paused on the ignorant, parked on dumb. And when
There
you
was.
look at yourself, because we're our biggest critics, nobody can tear you down like you could tear GC Brown down.
Yeah.
Right or wrong.
Right.
Because you thinking of stuff in the back of your mind, on top of your head, behind your ear, up under your armpit, and it's coming on you like, wait.
I'm thinking about stuff right now.
see, we're muses. We're muses for one another.
That's right.
This is such a powerful story. The fact that you could be in a confined and to have your spirit like this, to have the light in you still shining even brighter.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you need to have a pair of sunglasses on from the inside out because the light is so bright.
That's right. I gotta wear shades.
That's when you know that you know what your purpose is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be put on your buttocks.
Yeah.
And your lips shut down. Yeah. So you can listen out of both ears. Remember the teachers used to say, "Put on your thinking cap. Put on your thinking cap." Now you got something to hold the thinking cap on with. What was one of the biggest things that you learned about yourself? Because quiet as it's kept, that's why mother loved. It was always there, baby.
Yeah.
You didn't believe that it was there. You couldn't believe that you have this good fortune, and that's why you were sabotaging yourself. Like, I don't deserve this. Let me go do something. Because we talk ourselves out of success so many times.
Yeah.
When did you realize that this was going to be your assignment, and this is your assignment?
So shortly in all the reading that I was doing, it came from one book. I'm not a guy that reads, right or wrong. I'm not one of these guys that reads a bunch of self-help books. Probably would have never touched one my entire life had it not been for the hole, being in the hole. And one day I ran out of books. And the only thing on the book cart that I had not read was Dr. Wayne Dyer's Power of Intention. Incredible book. So I read it and realized, it dawned on me, holy cow, you've done that your whole life. So I realized at that point, this is all in very close timing. I realized that what I think in my head, say out of my mouth, the universe, for me, God, works to make that right. Whatever comes out of your mouth, your brain and your universe, your God, call it whatever you want, works to make that right. So that's what I got. I got up and said every day, that point going forward, these are the two things that I'm going to accomplish, and this is what I'm going to leave with. And that's what I did. I just, prison was absolutely, outside of those two little girls that I missed their life, outside of that, absolutely the best thing that ever happened to me.
Now, how did your family respond? Were they there to help you, to be supportive?
So when I figured this out and was sitting in the hole, yes, early on, you get 500 minutes a month that the government is nice enough to give you.
Oh, see, I don't know the prison terms. I was scared straight. So
they give you 500 minutes of phone. You pay for those minutes, but they give you 300 minutes a month. They give us an extra 200 during COVID. So you get 300 minutes a month to talk to whoever you want to talk to. That's 10 minutes a day. So you have to try to cover everybody, it's impossible. Raising two little girls or missing out on raising two little girls, it became impossible. So when I was sitting back in that hole, I realized that I've never had quiet time my entire life. My entire life, from the time I was 17 years old, it was chaos when I was young too, but from the time I turned 17 and moved on, it's been a constant chaos of just mess after mess after mess. 2 daughters. I've never been married. I have 2 daughters by 2 separate women. I just made every mistake that I should have never made. So,
Some of them aren't mistakes.
oh no,
Some
they're too
of
little
some of
girls.
them are learning lessons.
Learning lessons, correct.
And some of them, when you have to strip yourself down and see who you really are from your point of view, not what everybody else
Right.
expects from you, not what everybody else thinks of you. What about you? What do you think of you? When you realize that you are worthy of love and worthy to be loved, and your love is worthy to give to other people, and that's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
Everybody don't want to do that. That takes too much commitment. Wait a minute, do what? What? Wait, Lord, what you want me to do? What? And you look around like, wait a minute, God is really talking to me. Wait, you can't blame it on them.
Yeah.
They are not in your way. The whole crowd, that's you and your God in that bunker, in that room. When you finally came out and saw daylight well again, what did you find out about yourself in those 15 months? And was that the foundation that turned you around?
Kind of. So at that point, it was really the writing of the book had just started.
Mm-hmm.
So I was only in the hole for a few more months because I caught the writing towards the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got to the compound, and then I'm laying in my bunk and I'm writing, that dawned on me like, you just need to be a better human. So I did that. And unfortunately, getting back to your other question, I kind of cut off everybody. I knew that I couldn't do it. I knew that I needed to go sink away into a hole and fix me calling home, and it just wasn't working. I wasn't doing anything. And mother love, a guy like me, which I'm sure you figured out already, if they'd have sentenced me to 2 or 3 years in prison, I'd have learned nothing. I'd have gone and played poker, I'd have drank, I'd have had cell phones, I'd have been sneaking off, I'd have been doing just all the crazy hanging out. Like, oh, this is be fun.
So 2 or 3 years you would have came out, and got right back into the skullduggery of your life. No big deal.
Yeah. I would have probably kept women along the way. I would have gone, like, I would have never taken, you couldn't. I had to have that 20 hanging over my head. 20 years hanging over your head and nothing but violence and drugs and gangs and staff that doesn't help and cement walls and cement floors, the constant smell of defeat. I knew I had to do something. And I did. I pulled away. Unfortunately, I had to shut everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I wasn't doing those people right anyway, because I landed in prison for stupidity, for stuff that I had chose to do over the love of my family, over the love of the women that were in my life, I chose that. So I needed to go away and pay for that. And I did. And it took every bit, the old saying, a tiger doesn't change his stripes or a leopard his spots. That's not just a cliche. That's true.
Oh, no.
Oh, listen, I know who I am. I know who I've been my entire life. Like I said, I grew up on a farm. I know what work ethic is. Dr. Love, it took everything that I'm built of. And which is, I'm not saying this in a brag way, it's a lot. I've done a lot in my lifetime that took a lot to do. I have that grit and tenacity. It took every bit of that to be who I am today. Every bit.
I appreciate your spirit, because you take claim to what you did. You owned it. You believed it. You knew you could do better, and you knew you would be better.
Yes.
What was one of the first things that you pulled out of yourself when you go, man, okay, let's go on this ride?
It was the books. So I get about 120 pages in and realize, holy cow, this is my purpose in life. The first book I ever wrote, Dr. Love, I had an agent, which they said it's impossible to write a novel. Then the next thing, it's impossible to get representation. And oh, by the way, I'm in prison. How's this going to work? And then it's impossible to get a publisher, and all these things that it was impossible. So long story short, I broke all these barriers from inside of there. Had an agent, had the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
They secretly entered my first book which was Wake of the Storm, entered that into a contest, the Benjamin Franklin contest, without telling me. So long story short, I win the gold. I win everything.
Okay. Just share with people how important the Benjamin Franklin Award is in the world of writing.
Well, it's a couple thousand contestants, and I would venture to say there probably weren't 2 or 3, maybe 2 or 3 of us from prison. Mm-hmm. But this was open to people with the computers, the authors, the people that have written stuff in the past, all the staff to help put it together, the research, all that. It's a big deal. In prison, I had none of that. There's no phones. There's no internet. There's no research. You want research, which I did get some from encyclopedias out of the law library.
And most of those are outdated.
Most of those are so outdated and torn up, and you can't read, and people have marked through them. No help to those guys. Now they've gone more to the computer. Now there's a program that's on the computers came in later, which we have like a text system. We can't email. You can email. We call it email, but really it's just a text.
Mm-hmm.
There's no research. There's no internet. None of that. And yeah, and they make you pay for that also. So I'm writing. I put this thing together. They put it in there. I win the award. I get it back. I said, holy cow, I can do this for real. I actually took the book, canceled the publisher, took the book off the shelves, got rid of the agent, everything, and said, if I'm going to do this for real, I'm going to put my best effort. Because I really wrote that first book, Dr. Love, out of
Well, how many have you written?
Well, I'm on 4 or 5 now, and I've released none. So,
so you're gonna be a series. It's gonna be a series of G.C. Brown.
There's 2 series.
Okay, and this is one of your books. It's called Sniff.
Correct.
Is that because I'm reading it backwards?
No, that's it. It's Sniff.
So tell us about Sniff.
So first of all,
I think I used to know what sniffing is.
Yeah, and it still is. So everything I write is fiction. I should qualify that. It's about a guy that let me preface that with all the characters you meet in prison, in federal prison, you can imagine. It's politicians, it's professional athletes, drug lords.
I'm real creative, and I could think a lot of really crazy stuff. I told you I was in jail for 15 minutes, and I thought I would have a heart attack. I mean, I just showed out. Sometimes that's when I didn't have as much control over myself as I do now. I really do. I love to tell you stories. I have commandeered movie theaters. I'm telling you, this is what I do. And so, and when you know that about yourself, and you learn about yourself, and you do change. You're not the same guy that went in there 20 years ago. Now, how long have you been, out in the free world with the real crazy people?
Now, this is gonna shock you. So I'm getting ready to release book 1 in Sniff. I'm releasing a mushroom coffee to the market Black Friday. I'm married for the first time in my entire life. I have identical twin boys that are 7 weeks old this past Friday.
Making babies for the revolution. That's what you did.
So all this has happened. I've been home 10 months, Dr. Love. 10 months. I'm on your show. I've been on the cover of magazines already. 10 months.
And this is what's important, the fact that you are willing to lay this out here. And even though you say it's fiction, a lot of it does come from your imagination and come from your experiences, and I get it. I write self-help books. I'm like, who am I gonna help? And a relationship. How long you been married? Congratulations on the wedding and the boys.
Yeah, we got married on my actual release date. So I'll give you a quick how that happened. I was gone 16 years. She's 20 years younger, so figure that out.
All right, Chester.
Messing
with these youngins.
So I'm lucky enough to sell up with her younger brother, her 23-year-old brother, moving drugs for the cartels out of California up from Mexico he gets caught, catches 15 years, young kid 23. So he's in my cell. Now I'm at the end of my bid. I'm done. I've got a year to the door, 8 months to the year to the door when I met him. I'm done. I put in my time. I've mentored guys along the way. I've done it. I'm leaving. In walks this kid. So I'm mentoring him now. He's 23, just coming in facing 15. So I know the road he's getting ready to do. And I didn't come in at 23. I came in at 33. So I can't imagine coming in at 23. So I'm mentoring. So every day or every couple of days, you remind me of my sister. You remind me of my sister. You remind me. In the meantime, he's calling home, talking to his sister, telling his sister, you remind me of my cellie. You remind me of my cellie. They happen to have a visit. So he's getting ready one night. In prison, you iron your clothes the night before. A visits are exciting. I remember how they were. I cut them all off. I stopped visiting because, like I said, I needed to fix me. So I didn't have a visit for years. I stopped everybody, family, everybody. My brother did come once, and my daughter came once. Towards the end, so he's getting his uniform pressed and ready for the next day, hanging on the end of the bunk, everything tidy, shoes polished. Going. I said, "Who are you going to see tomorrow?" "Oh, I'm going to see my sister to tell her about you." I said, "What?
What?
What? I'm getting ready to go home." Dr. Love, the last thing I'm thinking about, I've been gone for 16 years. I know that I'm going to get a little bit of fame, and I know that I'm
going to scoot a little closer to the mic. I don't want to miss it.
There we go.
There you go.
I knew that I was getting ready to go home. I was an author. I knew that I was going to do well with these books. I had a whole different plan. I figured I'm going to go out and live the life. I'm going to go out and run around. Not like I was doing before. I wasn't doing the dishonest stuff, but I was going back out to live and to have fun and to be single. So when he tells me, "I'm going to tell you about going to tell my sister about you," I'm like, "What? No. But I don't say that, of course. I don't want to be disrespectful. So
yeah, because what do you do with that?
Right, not a lot. So he comes back the next day from visit, and he says, "I talked to my sister. She wants you to call her." I said, "I'm not calling your sister. I have not talked to a female, period, in 16 years. I'm out of the game a long time. Like I'm starting all over. I can't pick up the phone and talk to you. I'm not even talking to my family at this point, so I'm not on those phones at all. I've talked to my brother. We get 500 minutes now because of the COVID. I was spending less than 75 minutes of those 500 minutes a month on a phone. And that was just to my brother and family getting ready to come home. So I said, "I'm not calling your sister." I said, "Give me her," but I couldn't be disrespectful. I said, "Give me her email." So I email her. Turns out that she never said to give me her phone number in the first place.
So he's setting both of y'all up.
He's setting both of us up. So he gives me the email. I email. I've started and stopped it 3 times. I didn't send it till the following day. I didn't know what to write to this woman. So looking back, thank God, and he didn't end up in long trouble, but he got in trouble for being on a contraband phone, my celly. So they put him in the hole. So now the only person that has connection to his outside family is me. Now I'm forced to send that email to his sister.
You know,
things happen. God works.
Wait a minute. I just want. You said something earlier, and I was chuckling so tough. I had to come back and tell you this. You know, I'm sure that you've heard God watches over old folks, babies, and fools.
And fools.
So you know what category we both. I know. I own it. That's it.
That's right.
That's it. I tell people all the time, I'm put together with duct tape, bubble gum, and spit, and the will of God. And so this is all grace. I'm living on house money, so I understand what you're talking about. But see, you said I had a plan, and I was going for my plan, and then God started laughing at me. You silly man. You have no plan. I got the plan for you. Yeah. And there was nothing you could do.
Nothing.
Obedient.
Nothing. I tried to deny it.
Be obedient.
Yeah, I tried to deny it. Now I say this all the time. If I'd have obeyed quickly and emailed and sent that out, he likely wouldn't have had to go to the hole. Because I didn't, God said, "Listen, he sacrificed him. He went to the hole, and here it is."
You want to hear God laugh? Tell him your plan.
Tell him your plan.
That's my God laughing plan. You silly man. You silly woman. And you have to pay attention. When you have that personal relationship with God and the universe like that, they will hear you.
Yeah.
And they want you to listen, and you hear them. And the universe will open up and conspire for your great success. Yeah. You got a story to tell. Are you self-publishing?
No, so they said it was so impossible to get. I ended up with a 7-book publishing deal through Storybook Merchants. I come out of prison with a 7-book. It's
who does that?
Well,
check this out. Check this out, Mr. Brown. Are you thinking about the footprints that you are leaving down now?
I am.
And you know you pretty much set the bar pretty high.
Yeah.
You know, and then your bar is going to go higher.
Yeah.
And the footprints that you are leaving, I'm just sitting here with me, you know, chatting and getting to know you. Okay, I told y'all this is a live radio program. Don't be calling me because you don't want nothing. No, I'm not spelling anything for you. Google it. My man. They forget. They forget. They forget.
I gotta put mine on silent. I can't do it.
Look, and you're talking about doing all these businesses, running a nightclub, running restaurants, in the diamond industry, real estate, and all of this. That's like a 15-person mindset. How were you able to? And I think that chaos that you were in, do you think that it was part of preparing you for what you're doing now?
Oh yeah, because the books are chaotic. The way that I wrote these, somebody the other day that got one of the ARCs, the advanced reader copy, said it was a cross between Ocean's 11, Hangover, and Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay. Oh, listen.
Yeah.
You on the program, and every author knows this, and I don't know if they told you at the Blame Group that you're talking about loving, you're an author. You have to. This is like mandatory that you send me an autographed copy.
Listen. We've actually already spoke about that. Deborah Blaine said that.
I'm an avid reader.
Yeah.
I love to read, and you can learn something new every day. And then with the advent of the internet, I mean, you're just gonna blow up. You don't remember Mother Love?
Yes, I will. I will. She said,
if you don't remember me, I'll come to your book signing. Hey, GC, it's my love over here. Don't act like you don't know me. And I keep bail money in my shoe. Just
nice. And I know a bondsman.
They're gonna come get
us. And a terrible attorney, by the way.
We ain't gonna hurt nobody except hurt you laughing.
That's right.
You don't seem, when you were into all of this, did you have this robust sense of humor?
I did. I've always had that. I've always been that's honestly what's made, this is me. I just kept screwing this up. Mother Love. I don't know what. I look back and go, how did I do that?
Yeah, you do. And you're going to get to it. And it'll probably be another one of those, okay, I got to really accept this. Because, we're works in progress. You are a work in progress. So it's not going to be, something that's going to be absolute finite, because we grow every day.
Of course.
Every day. And if you don't learn something today that you didn't learn yesterday, don't waste your time. That's why it's called the present. People, they say, well, they go to the doctor. The doctor is supposed to heal me. It's a joint venture. You got to take care of yourself. The doctor told you quit smoking. Now you done ran in here and your behind got lung cancer. Did not tell you it's got to be a team effort. A lot of people don't want to play on the team. They think that the doctors and the attorneys are miracle workers. You have to give it. They're practicing medicine. They practice law.
Right.
We practice life.
Right.
And it's really, when you think about it, it's really that simple. We don't get this right. We're practicing. Maybe what we could do today might make it better tomorrow. But how you're gonna get tomorrow? Yeah,
no, tomorrow's not promised.
That's why when you said I was going to work on me, I was going to work and become the best person I could be to please me. What's your new favorite thing you like about GC Brown now?
Whew, there's so many. It's probably top five. Well, the first would be for personal. It would be the peace. Like, I don't have a mess behind me. I'm not cleaning up anything that I screwed up yesterday. Like, I'm on a brand new. I wrote this book I wrote this on the inside of saltine cracker boxes because the commissary was out of paper, out of notepads. I have saltine box cracker. You could only buy 2 saltine boxes a week of the crackers. I was trading coffees and Snickers and candy bars to other inmates for them to get me, because the commissary would be out of notepads and you couldn't get paper.
Wait a minute, you couldn't get it out your system if you tried. You got to be an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur. Anybody that's in prison hustling people for the boxes so he could keep writing. You knew that was your assignment.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. And I wrote this, and I wrote these series, and I wrote some fun. There were so many characters. There's everybody you can think of. I've sat every Friday night. I sat with John Gotti's brother and ate cheesecake. I mean, I've heard all the stories. I've been with all the guys, all the athletes and the lifers and the bank robbers and the drug lords and the kingpins and the little guys on the corner.
Yeah, how did you maneuver that? Or
I
did they
sat
just fall
back
in
and
love with you and said, "No, this guy gonna be, we gonna make sure he gets, get a fair shake or whatever the case is."
I tell you what, I had a lot of guys writing my acknowledgments for this end of this book, Sniff. If you don't read the book, which would be terrible not to, if you don't read the book, read the acknowledgments. The acknowledgments tell you a story. I've met thousands and thousands of people in 16 years, in and out of 8 different prisons, in and out. I became friends
Wait a
with
minute, they can do that, shifting through the prison
Oh
system?
yeah, you are property of the United. I started off. Now listen, I've never, ever, ever been in trouble. I've never been in that crowd where there's any of that kind of stuff. I land in a gang unit in Texas, day one. Yeah, in a gang unit in Texas. It's unbelievable some of the stuff that I've been around. But there was characters everywhere, and I said, if I could, when I decided to write, I didn't need research. I didn't need a computer. I had every character, every emotion, every kind of thing that you could think of out here, right here in front of me. Everybody, I just sat back and wrote and put people's characters, and you'll see names in the books of nicknames. Those people all know who they are. I wrote.
What do they think about it?
Oh, they think it's amazing. If you just if you look at some of the comments and going back and forth, they think it's amazing. I left a lot of Mother Love. There's a lot of people in prison, as you know, that got put there for a long time for things that they shouldn't have. If they did get put away, it should not be for decades. It should not be for decades. It should not be. They need to work on fixing people, not incarcerating people.
But absolutely.
And believe me, you helped me get my feet underneath me with all these podcasts and everything that I'm doing. When I get the chance to get on that soapbox, somebody's got it coming. And I don't mince words. If you read the book, you'll realize that I'm a no BS. I'm going to say what I want to say. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. The most important thing in these books, we're going to feel. We're going to love. My love stories in there. There's bank robberies in there. There's deals in the Middle East. There's
you were just cutting up. You were just wreaking havoc and running amok.
Oh man, wait till you read this book.
I can't wait to. And like I said, I'm an avid reader, and I'm excited about getting. Yeah. So you said you're on your 4th and 5th book. Now, are they different genres?
Yes. So I wrote Sniff, Smoke, Shoot. The first one's out November 1st, like in 23 days. I can't believe it. In 23 days, book 1, Sniff, will be out. That has a follow-up, Smoke and Shoot. So I have another series called the Mason Storm series, which is a detective series set out of South Florida. Mm-hmm. And because no one sent me the memo and said that you need to write all your series in a row, and no one sent me that memo. I didn't do this with help. So I wrote book 1.
Sure you did. You just got supernatural help. Right. Other people think they get, they're going to come in and they're going to save you or make you a star, make you a great writer. Yeah. No. So you're already that. And then when you get out of your own way, because just having this conversation with you right now, you stayed in your own way. Wait a minute, no, you say, okay, yeah, that's wonderful. Let's just go screw this up. And you know it.
Yeah.
And then you start fighting over it again. You go do the same stuff, and it's a different business. But you've grown.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know the rights of I know the moral stuff that I was missing before, and I know first and foremost that it's not me doing it. It's a much bigger being out there that's in charge of all this, that I'm just a simple little puppet. And that's what I didn't realize before. That was the biggest eye-opening. Like, holy cow, grandmother used to say, you're too big for your britches. And sure enough, that's what it ended up being at the end of the day. I thought.
Because you thought you was King Turd, you on Crap Island. I'm running that's sugar honey iced tea. Yeah. That's how you say that. Sugar honey iced tea. Just take each left.
I had the shirt and hat and everything to go with
ready to go.
Yeah, I really thought that I was that dude, and I'm not.
So when you think about it, when you look back at your life, well, actually, you really don't have to look back at your life, because you're turning that part and your creative juices into stories, into books. Okay, so when you get ready to sell the movie rights, I want you to know I want dibs first. I'm just letting you know.
Just so you know, they're already talking. They're already talking. So,
So will you go out on tour when because you can do everything right now from the internet, pretty much.
Pretty much. And here's another little funny thing. So I did all of this. I was on an ankle monitor. I couldn't leave my end of my driveway. I've only been off the ankle monitor for, let's see, July 6th, the day I got married, was the day my ankle monitor was released, taken off me. So I've just been given a little bit of time to roam. 2 months, 2.5 months. I've just been, yeah. So I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to make some splashes.
Oh no, baby, you're not getting ready. You are ready, so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
You're gonna be ready if you don't get to go. But that if goes out the window because there are big things coming to you, coming for you.
Yeah.
You know, God is gonna you gonna your light gonna be shining like real bright. You know, and continue to stay alerted to BS. Because but just so you know, when you call it like you see it, a lot of people can't deal with it.
Right.
Oh, well, let's have a moment for them. Okay, moment's over.
Yeah. So they used to say the funny thing they used to say in prison is, listen, not everybody loves Brown. Last name Brown. That's what you go by last names in there. Not everybody loves Brown, but everybody appreciates him. Because I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. I don't care what comes of it. I'm not. People want to pacify people these days. They want to say, oh, you're doing. No, listen. You don't get a trophy for participation. You got to put in your all. You got to get up and go to work, be the first one there and the last one to leave. You ain't going to make it correctly until you do.
Period. You know, and when they start giving out participatory ribbons and trophies, I'm like, they ain't do nothing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's incredible.
I won't
let you participated. Now you know this child couldn't hit the side of a barn. Well, he wants to participate. Well, teach him somebody go get him some baseball lessons.
Yeah.
No, they're not good at this. Go get him some dance lessons. No, she got 3 left feet. She don't have 2 left feet. She got 3, and I don't know where the third one came from. Don't fill your children up full of crap.
Yeah.
One thing the people need to know about their kids. They grow up and they listen and they learn from everything that you do.
Yeah.
You hear kids cussing and screaming, being a bully at school. Where do you think they got that from?
Yeah.
You come and call them all out their name and tell them how trifling they are. You know,
yeah.
I could not imagine bartering with a child.
Yeah, I don't listen. Well, so I got a little trick. I do actually barter. So not barter, but if it's something big or it's something like I could go either way on it, the answer is automatically no. And what I say, even if I'm going to say yes, I automatically say no. And what I tell them, so Carla, my wife, also has a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. So they're with me with the twins. So, and I got little.
Well, you got little kids. You got baby kids.
I got kids galore. You'd be happier doing it. So I make them negotiate with me. Listen, the answer is no. You got 5 minutes to go back, get your story straight, and tell me why I think I want to teach them to use their little minds. We've taken away the electronics. There aren't electronics in the house. We do family things. There aren't kids looking at laptops and stuff out while we're driving.
Oh,
none of that. You don't learn.
And see, you know, that's what's important.
Yeah.
Putting down parameters, setting markers, setting barriers. These kids think they could do anything. I wish I could. My mother,
and they're not doing anything.
She's been off the planet for decades now, and she still scares me because I've been hearing about talk to that child. Right. And we got grandchildren. We got 4 grandchildren. Can you believe it?
Yeah, no, I can't.
have a 23-year-old grandson and an 18-year-old granddaughter, 15-year-old twins. They're fraternal.
Oh, okay.
And now they smell royalty checks coming in the mail. I know they do. They got some kind of stuff on them. They know when the check coming. And then they want to be real nice to me. I tell them no all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I ain't getting it. And y'all 15, you better go get a job. I'm too young to get a job, and I'm too old to be broke.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I don't give away. We don't give away things in this house. We don't buy toys. No, listen, you can tell me what you're willing to do to earn it. And I make them earn things. I make them work. You got to teach these kids because nobody's teaching them. Nobody's teaching them.
And that's our job. We have to be the first teachers. Yeah. You know, my husband and I, we go back and forth on this all the time because it starts at home. What kind of home life are you giving your children, giving yourself? If you're not like the basics, a roof over your head, clothes, food, medical care, you know, whatever it is, it's your responsibility. These kids didn't ask to be here. So
that's
how you mistreat these children?
That's That's
my thing. And I've been on that high horse for the longest time. they're my responsibility.
Yeah, that's
And,
right.
and parents need to have relationships with their schools, the principals,
Everybody.
teachers. So if there's an issue, come and let me know. Don't let this just slide through.
Right.
And my son used to say, if he got in trouble, like, please don't tell my dad. Please, Lord Jesus, don't call my parents. Can you just kill me now?
You remember those days? Everybody could hit.
Like, why can't you beat me now? Why I gotta wait for my daddy to come home? Why? He ain't gonna be mad. Because she'll say, I'm so mad at you. How if I touch him, I'll kill you. They start talking through their teeth. Like, see, do you remember getting a look from your mother and grandmother?
Oh,
you know what the look? What's the look? Give me the look.
Oh, I don't. There were so many. I don't know. You know what I remember?
Oh, you know the look. You know the look when they looked at you sideways.
Yeah, looked out of the side eye. You know
get
the
the
one I
side eye?
remember. The one I remembered most. Kids today, hey, if you quit crying, I'll give you this. Back then, if you don't quit crying, I'm gonna give you something to cry about.
See, I told y'all I didn't make this up. This is how I was raised, people. The kids tell me all the time, you mean? I said, no, I don't take no crap. You're a child, you ain't paying rent. I wish I would have walked into my mama's house and slammed the door.
Right.
Look, girls, we used to get in trouble for doing this.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Kids don't even know what that is.
The rolling the eyes and the
and don't let us start doing it.
My little nephew said the other day to my brother, he said, "Oh, you're being extra." Oh boy, you don't get over here right now. I'm gonna show you extra. I'm gonna show you extra.
Listen,
who the heck you talking to like that, boy?
Oh, these kids now, they'll tell you, you can't hit me. That's child abuse. My mother said, you know what? And it was 6 of us. She said, you know what? If I beat one of y'all, I'm gonna beat all of y'all. Because they ain't gonna put me in jail. They're gonna send me to the nut house. Because they're like, you feeding these people? I wish you would. And there are no parameters. I am not my child or my grandchildren's friend.
That's right.
I got my own friends.
That's right.
So have you been able to connect with your family and friends since you've been home?
I have. I have. I was lucky enough to come back to with Carla getting married. I was supposed to go back to Miami. I had this whole plan put together, and needless to say, I'm not in Miami. In fact, I'm on the other coast in California. So I started out.
Oh, we're in California. We're here.
I'm in Redlands, up by Redlands.
Oh, you out? Oh yeah, he out there in the neighborhood, y'all. He out there with the high rent people.
I'm coming down. I'm trying to get closer to
come out of jail, get a 7-book deal, get movie deals, getting married, make a baby for the revolution. See this kind of stuff. This could go sideways, really, because people would say he put down footprints for me. I can follow these steps. He's come out. There's hope for me. I can keep hope alive. Or they'll say, I ain't doing all that work. That takes too much. How do you keep your sanity? Do you like to control chaos? Because we're still in chaos.
I do. Yeah, it's still chaos. It's and I'm involved in some other things right now that I can't even talk about. A couple other big things with Devin Blaine, and there's a lot of stuff coming. That
aren't they the coolest people? They are the
coolest. Man,
I just love Devin and all of them guys over there. They're
amazing.
They are just so. They've been really, really kind to me, and we are glad to work with each other. So they know, long as I'm here, you got. I shouldn't even be telling y'all the secrets like that. No, it takes a lot to get to Mother Love. Not just everybody can sit on this radio program, on this podcast.
That's right.
Got a story to tell.
She has been
our resources.
Yeah.
And she shares her
unbelievable.
So I got another question about your book series. Are they all going to be one word titles?
Sniff, Smoke, Shoot will be the Storm series, the Mason Storm series, the first book. Which that first book comes out. Getting back to you're supposed to release one series at a time. I didn't do it that way. We're releasing 2 series. So book 1, Sniff. Of Sniff, Smoke, Shoot is November 1st. Book 1 of the Mason Storm series is March 1st. That's taken by storm. So we're going to do them. We're going to do it a different way.
So you're going to be very, very busy.
They call me an outlaw. The publisher said I'm an outlaw.
They used to call me that when I was driving the bus. I used to drive a school bus. And I haven't heard that in a long time. They used to call me the outlaw. And I'm like, why you say, how am I an outlaw? You don't follow the rules and regulations. Now, I know you don't follow rules and regulations. You make up your own laws. That's called an outlaw.
That's an outlaw.
I take it as a badge of courage.
That's right.
Now, we got 60 seconds. What was the first thing you wanted to do when you came home?
See Carla. Remember we met we never got to do a visit. We only did the phones. And on the emails, we had agreed to marriage sight unseen. We had talked about having kids and how cool would it be to have twins. When we come out, we get twins.
See,
we
you
got
put
the
it out there
emails-
in the universe.
We got the emails to prove it. We spoke
You
it
put
into
it out there
existence.
in the universe and see
Yeah.
how the universe opened up to conspire for your success.
It sure
What
has.
do you want to be? What do you want your living legacy to be? I ain't talking about your dead legacy. I'm talking about your living legacy.
That I've turned, that I'm a guy that actually changed his stripes. I changed anybody that's in my life now.
10 seconds.
You could not convince them of who I used to be.
Listen, you couldn't make this stuff up on a bed. Ladies and gentlemen, the book is called Sniff. G.C. Brown was in the house.